rise up, brothers and sisters, boys and girls, kings and queens, friends, frenemies, and your agents. My name is Brother Marty. This is the SENEGAMBIA One channel. I'd like to welcome you today. I'm talking about 7 countries, count them 7 countries in the continent of Africa who've changed their names recently. I've got this list from Pulse Nigeria, that's them. Pulse Nigeria. Have a look, follow along if you want to. So the first country on the list is Botswana. Botswana. Yeah, Botswana was originally known as Bechuanaland. And I can't think of, it was colonized by British people. And, you know, like a country like Rhodesia, for example, I can understand it's named after the tyrant Cecil Rhodes. I get that. But Bechuanaland, I don't understand where that comes from or what it means. But that's what they called it. And fortunately, the local people decided to rename the country after the largest tribal group there, the Tswana people. And hence it's Botswana. All right, that's number 1. Let's move swiftly on to number 2, shall we? Now, the second country is Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso was colonized by French people, by the French governments. And it used to be called Haute-Volta. Haute-Volta. Now, I don't know any French, but what I do know is the word haute is used when they're speaking about designer clothing, so say haute couture. So haute-volta, I would assume, must mean something like one of a kind country. But who knows? That's what they called it. And the local people was like, yeah, no, we don't want to name it after you. We want to name it after the type of people we are. We are the honest and upright people. And that's why they called it Burkina Faso. Great name. Great name. The third is 2 countries together. It's Zambia and Zimbabwe. Zambia and Zimbabwe were all known as Rhodesia. Damn, that's roads, right? What kind of size of ego must this man have to be like, this house is too small for me, I need a whole country named after me. And then I'm gonna go down there and terrorize local people. What he discovered there was rubber trees and rubber plants, yeah. And he decided that he could export that rubber back to the UK and make a bunch of money from it. But he's not gonna go and he's not gonna go and do the work himself. No, he's gonna enslave a load of African people and get them to harvest the rubber for him. So that area was split into 2 countries, Zambia and Zimbabwe. And I'm so pleased that those people were able to get that tyrannical bastard off of their necks. And it's a good thing for all of us to remember, because no matter where you are in the world, no matter what you look like, if you are living under a tyrannical system, the people coming together can remove that tyrannical system, that tyranny. They can remove it. So don't give up hope, and push for your own freedom. That's got kind of heavy, hasn't it? Okay. Next, the next country on our list, number 5, is Eswatini. Eswatini was previously known as Swaziland. Now, Eswatini is brand new. It became a country in 2018, which is mind-blowing to me, because, you know, there's been, you know, the United States, which is a relatively young country, has been running since the 1700s, I believe, 1600s. I could have that completely wrong. It's been going on a long time, and that's a young country. Eswatini has literally just it's a fetus. It's just started. But what is interesting about this country, I guess it's because of how young it is. It has a king. Okay, I'm recording this part in the post of it because my memory card ran out of space. But what I was about to say was that Eswatini probably has a king now because back in the day, you couldn't be under the boot of a European colonizer and have a king. The most you could do is be the chief, and for the democratic countries, you could be a president, but you still had to bow down to the King of France, to the Queen of England, something like that. That's what you had to do. To recognize that power and authority over you as a country, as a leader of your country, you need to recognize there's a power higher than you. It's not God, it's actually some old lady in Buckingham Palace. So that's what they used to do. So it's very telling that now this country has the first king on the continent of Africa for absolutely decades. Okay, the next one we're going to look at is Mali. Now, Mali used to be known as French Sudan. This really kind of lazy name, well, Sudan's over here, so we're going to just call this French Sudan. No care or interest in what the local people feel, because Senegal, Gambia, Mali, they all speak Wolof. So Wolof is spoken in all three countries. I believe Mandinka is spoken in all three countries as well. So the people locally had their own idea of what and where their people stayed. They already had an idea of who they were. And the colonizers had no interest in that at all, and said, "No, you are French. You are Sudanese, but you speak French, so you're French Sudan, isn't it?" So that's what they did. The last one is Mozambique. Even worse, it was colonized by Portuguese people, and it was over in East Africa, and they called it Portuguese East Africa, which is a dumb name. Like, no thought, no care, no attention. Just take over Swedish land. Just be like, all right, you lot are Portuguese now. And they changed their name to Mozambique after an Arab trader called Musa al-Bik, apparently. And if that's true, and now I'm like I don't like that, because I'm kind of like, well, if you're an African country, why don't you name yourself after an Arab? Before the colonizers came, the European colonizers came, Arab colonizers came, Arab slave traders came and traded you as slaves. So why would you name the country after an Arab person? I don't understand it. I don't get it. But that's what they did. So that is both a country whose name has been changed, and it's also a country whose name I think it should be changed. So let's go into that list. Countries whose names should be changed. So number one on that list is Nigeria. Now, according to Sahara reporters, they say that Nigeria was named by a British woman who called it the nigger area. Now, if you look in textbooks, those anti-critical race theory type books, the ones that want to whitewash history, those books, they would say actually it was named after the Niger River. Whereas other less suspect publications will tell you that actually the Niger River was called the Nigger River because you could go up that river in your boat and go into the hinterlands, into the boondocks, and you'd have a river of niggers coming out. So that's hence why it's called Niger River or Niger River, something like that. I wonder what they called Niger for. Let's not worry about it. Nigeria, definitely Niger, and the Niger River needs to be changed. That's number one. 3-1. The second one is the Gambia. The Gambia I've been told was named by Portuguese traders. Now, the way the British ran their business was that they would take human livestock, they'll take animal livestock, they'll take, sugar, that kind of stuff from Africa. Stop in the West India Quay dock in London. If you get time looking at West India Quay dock in London, and you'll see there's a dock in London that was owned by the West Indian Trading Company. And the West Indian Trading Company owned many islands in the West Indies. Sorry, let me rephrase that. They owned many islands over in the Caribbean. I never call the Caribbean the West Indies because West Indies refers to this British colonial company and not to the people or to the landmass over there at all. So they'll come from Africa, from West Africa, into West India Quay dock, dock the boats there, take the elephants off, because they're shipping elephants over. Take off a couple of the females who could be sex workers for the dock hands. They'll take off the food, and then the men they will send on over to the Caribbean and obviously into America as well. You'll see there, if you go to West India Quay dock, you'll see there's a museum there, and in the museum they have the original written record of who was going into each boat, and they would say, oh, so you've got X family from Gambia, husband and wife are going to Trinidad, children are going to South Carolina, for example. That's what they would do. And so they would split people up, split families up, split tribes up, split villages up, and have them spread across the diaspora like that. Now the Portuguese traders was like, look, that's too much work. We don't need to go down to London to trade with you. We can make a cambio here in Gambia, in this place called Gambia, right? So they have the Gambia River there. It's very big and wide. Everyone's got space to do what they need to do. You can trade your elephants for sugarcane. You can trade your cocoa for coffee. You can do it all there. The cambio can happen there. The word cambio is used right now. You find it in London. You find it in Spain and in France. In Spain, in France, and Portugal. Cambio just basically means exchange. So to exchange your money, exchange your dollars for euros, you can go to the cambio in Europe, for example. And they called the Gambia the cambio. Last one that I would change is Côte d'Ivoire. Côte d'Ivoire, or Ivory Coast, again, is a colonial name. It's kind of interesting because the way they would name these countries before would be based on what is in it for the colonialists. Like, come here, go to the Ivory Coast, you can get loads of ivory, loads of elephant tusks. They'll kill all the elephants, kill the hippos or whatever. Stack the ivory, you can buy ivory from there. You can go to Ghana, you can go to the Gold Coast in Ghana, and you can get all the gold you want in Ghana. The Gambia, it's called the Smiling Coast. I don't think they were just selling smiles there. The Gambia wasn't the exchange of goods and services. So they would name the different countries based on what you can get from there. So that colonial name of the Ivory Coast will also change as well. I think that's it. I think that's everything. Yeah, I think that's everything. All right, so that's the end of this video. This is your brother Mali. Take care of yourself. Until next time, peace.